some of you may be wondering what I do in my day job. I work with preschool children, and we're getting to that time of year where I'm watching them become little people ready to go off to school in September, an event I always handle really well. I remember when you couldn't even crawl! Why couldn't you stay little forever? But seeing some of the children I work with grow up and get ready to go off into the world always makes me think back over my own childhood and ask myself what sort of kid I was. Weird. I was weird. For a start, whenever we went to London to visit my grandparents, my sister and I would spend time with our cousins, and I would use that opportunity to do the same thing every time. Okay, everybody, I've written a play for us to perform. It's amazing. Yes, despite never having actually been to stage school or going to any kind of theatre group, I somehow still managed to be an annoying stage school kid. Next, I'd like to perform for you a song I've written about how much I love biscuits. Oh, biscuits are so yummy. I love them in my tummy. Where are you going? I haven't finished my song. Yes, I was always singing or dancing or acting. Yes, one of my favourite games to play at primary school was pretending I was a blue coat who worked at Pontin's holiday camp. At the bottom of the school field there was this hedge with a gap in it that made a really cool den for people to hang out in, but I like to use that as the chalet that I lived in before I went off to perform in shows for my holiday guests. How tragic. I mean, at least I never became obsessed with a holiday camp as an adult. My early crushes were weird too. One of my biggest crushes when I was a kid was Dog Tanyan, who was a cartoon and also a dog. As proven by my constant song or story or playwriting, I was a kid with one heck of a vivid imagination. But when I wasn't being imaginative and creative and living inside my own head all the time or roping other people into performing my plays, I was a pretty clever kid, really. I mean, I got into trouble at school, not for misbehaving, but for helping everybody to finish their work instead of letting them do it themselves. If that sounds a bit arrogant, don't worry, that all changed at secondary school. Stop trying to make me do simultaneous equations! I don't understand! But then again, everything about me changed when I went to secondary school. Remember that over-precocious kid who was always outgoing and laughing and smiling? Secondary school murdered her. Or more specifically, bullying did. My last school report from primary school referred to me as bubbly and outgoing. My very first school report, written just a couple of months after I started at secondary school, refers to me as being worryingly withdrawn. So yeah, that young and hugely confident bubbly girl who really liked writing stories and plays turned into a teenager who still liked to write things, but they were very different.
I've written a new poem. It's about how much I hate myself.
Yep, I was spat at. I was told to go home and kill myself so no one had to look at my hideous face anymore. I had food thrown at me. I was told I was so disgusting looking that even my parents couldn't possibly love me. Every day I was told that for 3 years. Until I moved away and went to a different school, and it sounds kind of sad, but I viewed it as a minor victory in life that I was bullied ever so slightly less at the next school. Thanks! But without being melodramatic, those 3 years where it was hell and I was spat at and told to kill myself every day, that took its toll. I became this person who didn't have any confidence whatsoever. The damage, even in just 3 years, was catastrophic. And sometimes to this day I mourn the person I might have been if my confidence hadn't been deliberately destroyed by other people. And if any of my school bullies are watching this video, I hope you can look in the mirror and be proud of yourself, because for many years I couldn't so much as look in a mirror at all because you made me hate myself so much. Thank you for that! Seriously though, screw bullies. And so the question of what was I like growing up? Well, as a teen, I guess I became a very underconfident, painfully shy, awkward person who was literally terrified of anybody who didn't seem as geeky and awkward as I was. And as an adult, well, I guess the really bubbly kid and the worryingly withdrawn teenager kind of fused awkwardly to create the me you see today.
Who are you? I'm you, but, well, weaker.
Well, that's no good, is it? Let's sing a song to cheer ourselves up. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Yay.
I find my job really fascinating, watching babies and toddlers grow into people who are ready to go off to school and find out what kind of people they're going to be in their lives. And yeah, it does make me look back on my own childhood and my experiences and what made me the person I am today. And I think it's good to reflect. I think it's good to work out what made us who we are. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. You can click over here if you really want to know some of the weird things I believed as a kid that were definitely not true. Over here is last week's video, and you can click on my floaty head if you would like to subscribe to this channel. I'm off to reminisce about all the good times I had as a kid, and there were many. Maybe I'll tell you about some of them one day. Talk to you all next week. Bye!